Before the world met her as Ruby Rossi, the girl who sang to the silence around her in Coda, Emilia Jones was already a quiet storm in motion. She wasn't born into fame overnight. No viral TikTok, no Disney Channel launchpad, just the daughter of a Welsh tenor and a circus performer, slowly carving her own path through talent timing and pure focused craft. Born on February 23, 2002 in London, Amelia wasn't just surrounded by art, she grew up in it. Her father, Aled Jones, was a famous classical singer and broadcaster. Her mother, Claire Fawcett, came from a family of performers tied to the legendary British circus legacy. So yes, in Amelia's world, music and performance weren't dreams, they were part of breakfast, bedtime, and everything in between. But even with that kind of lineage, nothing was handed to her. Amelia didn't get cast because of her last name. She auditioned again and again. At just 8 years old, she made her stage debut in Shrek the Musical at London's West End, performing in front of full houses, while most kids were still learning multiplication tables. From there, it never really stopped. At 9, she landed a small role in Pirates of the Caribbean on Stranger Tides 2011. At 10, she appeared alongside Anne Hathaway in One Day. By 12, she was already guest starring in Doctor Who as Mary Gagel, the girl whose voice could change a planet. If you're sensing a pattern, it's no accident. Emilia wasn't bouncing between auditions hoping something would click. Her team and, more importantly, her own instincts pushed her toward roles that offered challenge over convenience. She wasn't just the kid in the room. She was the kid watching the room, studying the veterans, soaking up every beat of performance. By the time she was a teenager, Emilia had more on-screen credits than most actors twice her age. But here's the twist. None of it felt like a rush. She wasn't overexposed. She wasn't everywhere. She was strategic. She took breaks. She did stage work. She grew not just in resume, but in range. So by the time Coda came knocking, Emilia wasn't emerging. She was ready. And all the years of learning lines, hitting marks, and staying grounded came pouring out into one of the most quietly powerful performances of her generation. By 2020, Emilia Jones was already respected in the UK acting scene, but it was a certain Apple TV Plus drama filmed quietly in Massachusetts that would shift her life forever. That show, Coda. That role, Ruby Rossi, a hearing teenage girl in a deaf family, torn between responsibility and the music that stirred her soul. When Amelia got the part, she didn't speak American Sign Language. She wasn't a trained singer. She'd never lived in a fishing village like Gloucester. But she dove in hard. For 9 months, she trained relentlessly, sign language vocal lessons, and even learned how to handle a fishing boat at 4 a.m. That commitment paid off. Coda premiered at Sundance Film Festival 2021 and exploded. It won the Grand Jury Prize, the Audience Award, and the Directing Award. Apple bought the rights for a record-breaking $25 million. And in the middle of it all stood Amelia, just 19, carrying a film on her shoulders. Her performance was subtle but searing. She didn't show emotion, she felt it. Whether it was signing in silence or singing on stage, Amelia gave Ruby a quiet strength that made critics pause. She earned nominations from BAFTA Critics' Choice and Gotham Awards. But beyond trophies, audiences fell in love with Ruby, yes, but also with the actress behind her. Then came the Oscars. Coda made history, winning Best Picture, the first streaming film ever to do so. Troy Kotsur became the first deaf male actor to win an Oscar. And Amelia, she wasn't holding a statue, but she stood there beaming center stage, a 20-year-old woman who just helped rewrite film history. Overnight, the offers flooded in. Big studios, big names. But Amelia didn't jump. She waited. She read scripts. She said no more than yes. Because she understood something rare for her age: one great role isn't the destination, it's just the beginning. That's when you realize Amelia's story isn't about talent alone. It's about how she uses it with precision, with intention, and with a courage that whispers, not shouts. Coda was her breakout, yes. But it didn't define her. It introduced her. And now the real work begins. After Coda, Emilia Jones could have played it safe, jumping into big franchise films, brand deals, or high-profile romantic dramas. But instead, she did something harder. She chose to go smaller, stranger, and more emotionally dangerous. Why? Because that's where the real acting lives. She starred in Cat Person 2023, a psychological thriller adapted from a viral New Yorker short story. Emilia played Margot, a young woman navigating attraction, miscommunication, and fear in the age of dating apps. The story was uncomfortable, intimate, and completely different from Coda's warmth. And that was the point. Then came Fairyland, based on Alicia Abbott's memoir about growing up with her gay father in 1970s San Francisco. Emilia portrayed Alicia from teenage years into adulthood, showing a subtle evolution of rebellion, tenderness, and grief. Critics praised her for carrying the film with quiet complexity. But Emilia wasn't done pushing herself. In Winner 2024, she stepped into the shoes of reality winner, the real-life whistleblower who leaked NSA documents and was imprisoned under the Espionage Act. Emilia didn't just mimic, she transformed. It was her most adult role yet, and arguably her riskiest. What ties all these roles together is not genre or fame, but intention. Emilia is building a career not on Instagram followers, but on integrity. She chooses scripts that scare her, roles that demand more than charm, and characters who are messy, hard to define, and painfully real. She still acts on instinct, but now with experience behind it. She knows how to carry a film, but also when to step back and listen. She's gone from child actor to artist, not by chasing the spotlight, but by walking just outside of it, where the air is thinner, but the stories are richer. After roles that stretched her emotionally and psychologically, Emilia Jones now steps into the high-stakes world of dystopian thrillers with The Running Man 2025, directed by Edgar Wright. In this reimagined adaptation of the Stephen King novel, Emilia takes on the role of Amelia Williams, a character who's not a runaway, not a hunter, but someone caught in the middle of violence and spectacle. Though Amelia's screen time may be smaller than lead characters, her presence is a catalyst, the spark that disrupts the game's status quo. Whether she's a hostage caught in chaos or a survivor trying to stay human in a ruthless world, Emilia needed to bring nuanced fear, tempered with defiance, vulnerability, laced with courage. Reports from set say Emilia spent time learning stunt coordination and tactical movement, ways to show Emilia surviving without wielding a weapon. She needed to convey power without power presence, without spotlight. Emilia called it one of the toughest challenges she's taken since Winner, emotionally layered and physically demanding. Emilia's connections to Glenn Powell's Ben Richards, Lee Pace's Evan McCone, and Michael Cera's Elton Parakis add dramatic tension. Emilia had to hold her own against established leads, creating moments of stillness that challenged both character and audience. She's not just the girl in danger, she's the moral compass in a world that forgot what morality means. Shooting is scheduled to wrap in mid-2025 with premieres and press tour set for late 2025. No full reviews yet, but early buzz praises Emilia's role as the emotional heartbeat of the movie, and E. Jones delivers a compelling performance under pressure. Critics note that Emilia's challenges mirror the dystopian themes, fighting to hold on to humanity amid media spectacle. For fans of Emilia, this is a sign she's ready to take her craft into genres she hasn't explored. It's not just growth, it's artistic evolution. And if The Running Man introduces her to new audiences, Amelia Williams might be the character who cements her place as a versatile, fearless actress. When you look at Emilia Jones today, it's easy to forget how young she still is. Barely in her mid-20s, and yet she's already built a portfolio many actors twice her age would envy. But what's most striking isn't just the number of roles, it's the intention behind each one. She isn't building a brand, she's building a legacy. Emilia's choices reflect a deep respect for storytelling, Whether it's a coming-of-age journey, a political whistleblower, or a frightened girl caught in a dystopia, she treats each role with care, thought, and boldness. Off camera, she remains refreshingly grounded. No loud headlines, no paparazzi scandals. She talks about acting with the seriousness of a craftsperson, not a celebrity. And when asked about fame, she shrugs it off, saying, "If the story's good, I'm in. That's it. What's next?" Emilia has a few films in post-production, including Charlie Harper, where she's rumored to be playing a complicated anti-hero. She's also been attached to a stage revival in London, signaling a return to her theatrical roots. But more than any project, fans are watching how she continues to evolve, not as a celebrity, but as an artist. And maybe that's the most powerful thing about Emilia Jones. She never asks to be the loudest in the room. She just chooses stories worth telling and tells them like someone who believes they matter. Not with noise, but with clarity. Not with fame, but with truth. So here's to Emilia Jones, a quiet force, a sharp mind, a fearless performer. She's not done. Not even close. In fact, she's only just getting started. If you enjoyed this deep dive into Emilia Jones's journey from theater kid to breakout star, from silence to spotlight, don't forget to like, subscribe, and ring the bell for more stories like this. Got a favorite Emilia role? Or someone you want us to explore next? Drop it in the comments. We're listening.